Fading faces of history. Yesterday, we told you how Holocaust survivor Eve Wertheimer came to be at Auschwitz concentration camp. Now we continue by talking about her will to live and how this remarkable San Diego woman survived such horrible conditions at a camp where virtually everyone was gassed.
We were transported in these cattle cars without any way to sit down. I don't know how many were in one wagon.
The train stopped at Auschwitz. People were sent to the left or right. Older people were gassed right away.
The young people on this side. So I was on that side. We were ordered to a table and we were tattooed. We didn't know why. A2250. That was 1944.
Then Eve did a very daring thing. She hid a memento she'd taken from the Terezin camp.
You have to lie on that table. First she looked at us and then she put us on the table and examined us all over, also down there, because they learned already that people put some diamonds in there. I put my little charm, which I had from Terezin, under my tongue.
A fellow prisoner, an artist at Terezin, had made the charm, and he made it for her birthday. She still has it to this day, a small token when everything else was stripped away in her life.
We had no clothes, no underwear. We had, it was like a dress, big, like a potato sack, you know.
They slept in bunks 3 stories high, sharing thin blankets. She found a friend named Rita, and they stuck together, blindly going through the days.
We didn't know what kind of day it was because we had no calendar. We didn't know if it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Every day was as terrible as the other.
They were always watching out for the SS physicians like Dr. Mengele, who conducted medical experiments on prisoners.
When there was a selection with Dr. Mengele, we had to take off our dress and go in the nude. So the first time we did it, we went like this because we were bashful. You know, you're not used to that. But the second time, we were already used to that.
Nobody really wanted to go with Dr. Mengele, but if they did, the Jews wanted to appear more healthy, so he wouldn't send them to the gas chamber.
I only got once a beating from one of the SS capos because I found on the road a little piece of lipstick. Somebody had thrown that away, and I picked it up, and the SS capo saw that, and he thought I want to make myself pretty. He gave me a beating and took that lipstick naturally, but I didn't want that for beauty, but I wanted it on my cheeks so that when Dr. Mengele sees me, I look even better and healthier, because he needed the healthy people. The others he gassed right away.
She was in Auschwitz from May 1944 until the fall.
The chimneys, when we first got there, the odor was just awful. We didn't know, but then we saw the chimneys and the flames coming out. Then we know. And then one day, one SS man said to somebody, and I heard it, "Here, you only get out through the chimney."
But Auschwitz was overcrowded, and the Nazis sent 500 girls away to a concentration camp in Poland called Stutthof.
So when we got out into the train, we said, "Oh, we are not going through the chimney, we are getting out."
This morning we continue our story on a Holocaust survivor who now lives in La Mesa. In the winter of 1944, Eve Wertheimer was on a death march from a concentration camp in Poland. Exhausted and starving, she made a daring decision to escape. Eve was out of Auschwitz, now at Stutthof, a concentration camp in Poland near the Baltic Sea.
There It was the same thing, the gas chambers, and we didn't work.
Around December or January, when Soviet forces advanced, prisoners were evacuated.
One day, from Stutthof, they said, we need again 500 women. And this time I didn't have a choice, I had to go.
She was one of hundreds forced to march in the direction of eastern Germany in the freezing cold.
We had to build a tent. Imagine a circus tent, but it had no bottom. It was the ground, only the walls. And there we had to stay. You have no more feeling of, you are not ashamed of anything anymore. You know, I never thought it would come back.
They dug trenches with shovels so Russian tanks might fall in. Most prisoners died on this march.
We only got bread and very thin soup, and that was it. I weigh about 70 pounds.
And as they marched in the snow, Eve got to the point where she didn't care what happened anymore.
We didn't think about anything anymore. We were just like animals. Because when a girl died, we dug a hole and threw her body in there. And if she had shoes, we took her shoes. You know, we were like scavengers. You can imagine how we were not human beings. We were not like human beings.
So frozen and wearing rags, she made a decision.
I said, let's hide behind the bushes. She said, oh no, oh no. I said, Rita, it doesn't make any difference. If you die here or there, we won't live anymore anyway. Now I'm not going to do it. So then I watched the SS woman walking around, and when she didn't look me, I went and behind the bush. And I waited quietly until they were all gone. And then I came out, and lo and behold, 2 more girls stood next to me.
The 3 wandered in the opposite direction, having no idea where they were, and slept in a haystack. But their escape came to an end the next day when German soldiers arrested the desperate women.
He put us into jail. That little village had a jail, and we went in there. All 3 of us in one cell. We were their enemies, we were Jews. We were lucky they didn't shoot us right away.
Then the Russians came. There was bombing and shooting, and the Germans fled.
When it was morning and it was quiet, what happened? So we tried the jail door, and it was not locked. So we came out.
Just when you think life was looking up, the Russians lined the 3 women up against a wall and raised their rifles.
We're standing there, and I was praying, please God, let it make fast. I know we were finished now. And while we were saying that, the Russians were watching what's going on, and one of the officers heard that, and he yelled, stop, put down your rifles. And he came over and he said in Yiddish, we know who you are, because on the way to the village we found all your girls shot.
That was the turning point. Eve was 30 years old and on her way to freedom. They got food and medicine, and finally the help to get back home. She remarried and came to America. Eve didn't talk about what happened until many years later when she joined a survivors club. What's most important for young people today to know about this?
That it can happen again. Look what happened in Africa and Darfur. If the economy is not good and people don't have money, you can promise them anything. And that's what Hitler did. He promised them.
And if she ever saw Hitler again, standing before her, words wouldn't be nearly enough.
I don't think I would say anything, I would shoot him.